Hello to the Foundation Infrastructure Working Group, 22nd of May. So let's start with reviewing the PRs. I can just update the attendees list. Okay, PRs. We have still the this failing checks.
Yeah, we still have those Windows issues. I haven't had a chance to review this to get back to this yet.
I will move then, waiting for changes because
That seems good.
okay, this looks good. Then this is the replacement for the we had another PR which was introducing this C-flex.
Yeah, I think this is the safer way to go about it that doesn't clobber the optimization, or at least presumably.
Yeah, and we have two approvals, so we can merge. Okay.
These are tags which were this is just a syntax update. These were tags which were blocking some CI execution because of restructuring of our internal concourse.
Yeah. Then I think this we can merge. We have one approval. Oops.
Did someone from SAP already contact you, Aram, or someone else from Broadcom? Because I heard from Ansh that they are trying to do the OpenStack that they use the OpenStack from SAP for the CI. But I said, yeah, Broadcom is also working on that, so I don't know who is working on what now.
I haven't heard anything about OpenStack CI changing. I know there's a big drive internally at Broadcom to reduce our infrastructure spend. So if SAP were to take over the OpenStack CPI CI, I'm sure that would be welcome.
Okay.
And ideally, it would be in a place that's more visible. Unfortunately, I think since Pivotal days, this has always been something inside the firewall, so the concourse hasn't been visible.
We want to get as much as them just in the open source push CI.
Yeah.
So if you can do that, then it would be nice.
Yeah.
Do you have a contact point who was working on the OpenStack, or is, or was, or partially working on the OpenStack and the Broadcom side?
Our main OpenStack advocate left at the end of spring. So it's basically the team that's responsible for Bosch internally. So I'm a good point of contact, or throw something in the Bosch channel on Slack.
Okay, I will let him know.
Yeah. But at SAP, we are using the Go version, so that will mean that the Go version will be promoted to.
The Go version is functioning.
Yes, we are using the Go version. We do not use the Ruby one.
Okay, that's super interesting. I think we'd love to hear about that and possibly cut over if we can.
Yeah. So Roman, you contacting people, or?
I will let Ansh know, because he was the one who said he wanted to put the CI in our open source concourse and then use the SAP OpenStack. So
that would be great.
Okay, let's see. We've been discussing how it can be done, but it's not so easy to because our OpenStack offering is also internal.
yeah, the other one was setting up like you have like the OpenStack development VM, basically where you just set up a small OpenStack development OpenStack, and that you can use that.
There was
it looked it was reasonably possible, and it would just be writing good Terraform stuff for it.
Okay, but this one we can merge, Aram.
Sounds good. Yeah, if we need to, I imagine we might want to do some period of time where we're both running these CIs before we hand over or something, but we can figure that out as we make the change.
Yeah. What is the situation here? So still
Doesn't look like we've
waiting
heard
for
anything
review.
back. Yeah.
Nitin is not anymore. Or is he still at Broadcom?
No, he's not.
Most probably.
Rajat is still around.
Yeah, I
Maybe
saw.
take Nitin off and just run the algorithm again, and we'll see. I think we're also waiting for some.
Okay. Better.
I don't think there's been any movement on this either.
So this
You merged something.
So there were merge conflicts, and I asked to resolve the merge conflicts, and they have been resolved. It should be ready for review, looks like.
Okay.
So then
do we want to run the workflow maybe? Is that, I'm not sure what is actually gating there. I'm guessing it's just to
prove it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's probably not doing anything anyway, so.
I'll go ahead and review this. Yeah.
You are, I think you are assigned.
I think I'm assigned there, and I'll ping Rajan as well.
Here are some comments that Sebastian is. He seems to be on a longer vacation.
Lucky.
Early June. Okay.
Oh yeah, that was a thing that I should look at. So for me, I know something from the past that there was something when if we ran tasks too much, it would interfere with other stuff. But I'm not sure now if this still is an issue, or that it was only an issue, something from Xenial, and that I'm still I'm still carrying with me.
Yeah, I have a similar, um, I have a similar recollection.
Yeah. I'm
So it is.
so we can
2 minutes to 1 minute. Okay.
yeah, maybe it was like, because now we're doing it like every minute. That I think every minute is like pretty aggressive.
Yeah, I'm a little, yeah, I'm sort of curious what the cause of this is. I'm not certain that this hammer is the right move. I guess it
When
won't be rotating once a minute. We'll only be checking once a minute to see if rotation should happen.
yeah,
Yeah, it's true. That's true.
And I might be more comfortable if we went down to
Like
5 minutes, or even 10 with a random delay. I feel like having everything tick on exactly like a 1 minute or a 5 minute or a 10 minute boundary might be.
So the random delay is still there with 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like it's only it's only seconds now. It's like it's
Yeah.
now 55, 61.
Yeah, that seems a little.
So you would like to keep the random delay of 2 minutes.
No, I don't necessarily think 2 minutes, but I think if we go down, I don't know. I think it feels like going down to once per minute is a really aggressive move, and that's 15 times more frequently that we're checking.
Yeah, I don't think it will have like a huge performance impact for the checks. But what happens when multiple things are writing at the same time and then the checks are done? And
Yeah,
I'm just not sure. I'm not, maybe the new, because I know it was an issue, but it's like it was more than 8 years ago, what my recollection was. So
yeah, that's the problem with a long memory.
yeah, maybe it's solved with newer kernels. Who knows? But
Yeah,
I'm willing to give it a go, but put it in the put it put it like in the change log for that stem cell and see if
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
we can also say, let's say 10 minutes or
SAP is the biggest, probably has the biggest environment anyway. So when they are using it, they are probably the first one who would recognize.
we are competing. Others state that they have bigger environments.
Yeah, but you guys are the one who like consumes new stem cells within 2 weeks. So
Yes.
all right, that sounds perfect. We'll have SAP test this out and let us know if it's a problem. Um, yeah, I think, yeah, I think this will probably be fine. I, I also have some, some memory, but it is definitely from Xenial or possibly even Trusty era.
yeah. So yeah.
We can also say reduce half, let's say from 15 to 7 or 8. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's,
well, we can ask what is did you just randomly choose 1 minute or was it something you tested that is
yeah,
really needed every minute? Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can ask.
yeah, that seems good. Max is an SAP person, right? So maybe you all can ask.
Yeah, SSAP, you mean to ask directly?
Yeah, I mean, feel free to put it in here too, because it's probably good to have that conversation, but maybe.
Yeah, I can ask, yeah, I can ask, yeah, okay, I will ask, will be easier to have ping, because most probably I won't be able to put the question so that completely clear. Yeah. Let me put an action item, sorry. Cannot find it. Oh, a big action item. I'll change it. Okay. Look. Let's put all yeah. Reviews. Do you have an opinion on that, Ramon, already?
No, this is I would accept anything related to IPv6 at this moment for push bootloaders. It's all optional. The other one that I checked was like, okay, seems sane.
Yeah.
Oh, not
Hello.
again. We already provide SHA-256. The only problem is that you need to do it in a really weird way.
Yes, this is update of the documentation.
Oh, okay.
I, it looks like the changes. Yeah, I think it looks like it overrides the SHA-1 docs. And,
It's also, I really don't see the extra benefit of this, but
do you want to review this?
no, it's just my opinion.
Yeah. It's a small change. Maybe I can take and review this. I just need to see how it looks in reality. Okay, see. Hi, Ruben.
Hi.
Okay, we are done with the PRs. We can check what is on the agenda. PRs, promotions. We don't have issues on the agenda. Add C group IT support for Docker CPI. I was wondering, I thought we had the C group V2 in Docker CPI, but it looks like it has been introduced in Warden and Docker is missing that. So I would
Is this
say,
for the
yeah.
Is this for the host?
thought that was already fixed by you, Ruben.
So we have, I mean, I think there's noble stuff related to systemd, which is different than like C groups. So this is, I think, about like if you have a host with C group v2.
Yeah, that I think as far as I know that doesn't work right now because the you can't change the C group type you're using if the from whatever the host VM has.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think like this was not a priority to fix because Noble, like our Garden was not yet compatible with C groups v2, right? So now that that's there, it makes sense to go look into this. But I've never done it. It's probably just like bumping the Docker CPI libraries or the Docker whatever. There's a Docker Golang library that we're using. That's probably the thing that needs to be bumped. It's my yeah. That's where I would start.
Yeah. So we can put open for contribution for now.
Seems
Yeah.
good.
Let's not wait, people. It's a new colleague on our side. Okay. This is just yeah. Just to remember the correct. We don't need to. Yeah, this is about keeping in sync.
I know that we were talking at some point about this just put it in the CI to keep this in sync.
But it was hard to rebase, right?
The initial thing was hard to rebase. The only problem to really keep this in sync is because of the damn metalink stuff that we keep pushing into the repositories.
Do we put that into the stem cell repository?
Yep.
The base OS,
everyone.
base OS one.
Everything. Base OS run, the other, we do all the metalink stuff, put it in even when we aggregate it, we then put an aggregated file where we put all the metalink combined into one file in a different directory within it's really a mess. So either we should see how we can do this. I tried to do this, like put it in the concourse resources. The only thing there is that if we lose that, then you cannot rebuild it.
Yeah. One thing that we've tried with just to sort of limit the number of pieces that are necessary to kind of like understand and be able to access for some projects is to create a completely separate branch that contains the data. So like as opposed to using an S3 bucket for semver, you create an empty branch on the same repository that holds the semver resources. Similar to how GitHub puts a separate branch for a wiki on the same repo. And maybe what makes sense is to create like an Ubuntu Jammy metalinks and an Ubuntu Noble metalinks branch that is the branch that CI reads and writes to, so that we always have access to that. But we
Sounds
don't
like a
necessarily.
valid option, at least until we come up with a better solution.
Yeah.
But then you still need to like, how are you going to figure out on a given commit of the stem cell builder, if you're building a stem cell, what's the meta link commit that you
We
want
currently
to?
also do that with versioning. So we have a version of the metalink. We have
No, but we could commit it back into the same branch, right? So basically, if you're rebuilding it from that
Right.
commit, that you have everything. Like, so there's gonna be, you need a pointer.
Yeah, but they're all named. they're all namespaced within.
No, that's fine. It's just like if you want to go back to an older commit and want to rebuild it,
Right.
like how do you know which version went into it, right? Like which meta
Can
link
we take when we take for example for stem cell based bot branches, so the Metalink branch and the
If we have two branches, we could use a tagging convention.
yeah.
If we had two repos, we could use the same tag in both repos. I'm not sure which is better.
at least you need to have one branch be the source of truth, and then it needs to point to. So if you make the meta branch leading, then that one could point to a commit in the stem cell builder main repo line, right? So you can always reproduce it, but you need to keep track of what.
Yeah, the MetaLink needs to have a pointer either to a tag or to a SHA in the
Yeah.
primary branch. You could
I
just
think that's
put a straight up GitHub URL, and then you don't have to worry about whether these get moved at some point.
Or we need
Right.
to make MetaLink more smarter, maybe more information. Maybe I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not. Yeah, we've been wondering internally whether MetaLink continues to be a good solution for things, since it doesn't seem to be very maintained at this point.
Well,
Danny
not
Berger.
maintained for a long time.
Yeah,
But is
I
it
mean,
broken?
Danny has been good about merging PRs, but like this is another piece of machinery that we have to maintain. I don't know if it's now is the time to maybe consider looking at a different tool.
Someone has a better. I have not find anything about what we're trying to solve. But yeah, if someone knows about a better thing, because I hate the whole meta link anyways.
But MetaLink, it's a spec, right? Not something Danny came up with. He just implemented it.
No idea.
Yeah, MetaLink is. I think it's an extension of the HTTP spec or something. Whatever. It's like an.
Yeah, could be, but we are. Yeah, if you look at the pipelines and you see how we are retrieving things with the MetaLink and how we are pushing stuff into certain repositories, it makes the pipeline really complex about how we do things. So if someone knows a better option which makes it our lives easier, then would go for it. But
yeah, I mean, I would certainly like to see us, at least with the Bosch agent, begin to use releases in GitHub rather than the MetaLink publishing that we do. I'm not sure what implications that might have for Bosch IO or other sources, but it doesn't seem to be.
I mean, I think in general, using GitHub instead of other external hosting is better from a cost perspective also.
Yeah.
But I don't know if there's a lot of cost involved in hosting the stem cells. There probably is a decent amount, right? So if you would, but I think there's limits to what you can put in a release, right? Like how much size-wise.
Yeah, I don't know that stem cells necessarily should be in a release, especially not the heavier ones like vSphere and OpenStack. But we could at least publish references to those in a Bosch release. I don't know. I've been recently poking around in some of the stem building stuff, and we do a lot of gymnastics in the code to find the right version of the agent based on metalinks. Whereas if we were publishing the Bosch agent as a GitHub release, it would make a lot of the complexity go away.
For stem build or for the stem
But
cell
like,
builder? Because the stem cell builder is quite okay-ish for Bosch agent.
But MetaLink, like a MetaLink is just a pointer in your code base to an external file, right? with a
Yes.
SHA-SUM. That's all it is. And if you're using GitHub, you still want deterministic pointers to things that go into a build, right? So that doesn't go away.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not saying we don't need to have that deterministic pointer. I'm just saying that what we have may be overkill, given that we're writing a bunch of meta-link files when we publish when we release the Bosch agent, whereas we could just publish a release to GitHub and consume the files from there rather than having to go get the meta-link, understand the meta-link versioning, decompose the meta-link, grab the information about where the files live and pull those down.
Sounds like you want to get rid of the deterministic pointer. I mean, like, in the end, the complexity you describe is because you want a pointer that you have checked into source pointing to a file.
Now back to our issues.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Should we try something out or
I think this was an action item captured from last time about.
yes, this is just some reminder that we should do that. Are they now in sync, Ramon, when the GA version has been released?
So last Sunday or Saturday, I don't know anymore because I had some issues, but the versioning kept bumping it for some reason. So at some point I just settled on 1.2. I needed to fix too much stuff. So yeah, we now basically I just bumped it to 1x, and it's now available on Bosch.io.
But is it in sync?
Sync,
Jimmy and Noble, are they synced?
Well, the last sync was done like I think last month, so I hope they are in sync. I didn't sync. I didn't do a sync before the GA. Basically, only I did just the latest build and then renamed it to 0.x.
Maybe also a simple job which turns red when they are not in sync could be something just as a reminder for us. I don't know.
Yeah, everything that could be improved is fine with me.
Just is it easy
how
to
are you gonna
create?
determine if it's not in sync, right? Because it's gonna be rebased, so it's not like the commits are gonna be different, right? In both places. As in you're gonna get a different commit hash on the different branches. So how are you gonna determine that you're missing stuff? That's the whole problem with this.
No, the whole problem is metalinks. That's the thing.
Okay.
You're steering the confirmation this thing away, Ruben.
I thought if we have much conflicts between the branches, then it's they are not in no rebased. It's not much conflict doesn't.
No, it's not even.
Doesn't mean.
It's not even really complicated anymore because it should be now a really easy rebase. The only thing you get like is the 100 metalinks things that you need to go through or basically ignore.
Or should we create a scheduled reminder in our Slack channel, internal dev, so once per month to say.
Don't invest in Slack. Slack is going away, right?
Slack
Yeah.
will go away, but
Is there a way we can automate a rebase that ignores the metalink directory?
Yes, you can in Git. You can basically do that. You can ignore directories.
Maybe that's the right option
Mm-hmm.
until we figure out the metalink stuff.
I can. Okay. Can put prioritized. This one, this one is the one in the community. It's already done.
This one can be closed, right?
Yes. We released it. We should get some budget to celebrate.
Release party.
Yeah. We had last meeting 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
So this one is why is this marked? It was 21st of March. Okay. 22nd, we'll disable token. What is this?
This looks like spam. Or slop.
I can try. I will close with. We didn't get them. Let's see.
Yeah, this is just for a notice whenever I.
Yeah, so it looks like this was last meeting. Okay, then we have regarding issues, we have everything. Is Bosch common? Is there...
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to move on that. It's still waiting. I have the repo, so I will hopefully get to that in a few weeks.
Yep.
It is at
So
least
that-
unblocked.
So the automation worked.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sometimes breaks.
But it like we have so many GitHub actions run hours on that automation. Like it's really slow. Like it runs like for 4 hours each run.
Wow.
Even longer, 7 something.
Yeah. It's
You're
crazy.
gonna have to rewrite that in Go, Ruben.
It's already written in Go.
But we have so many repositories and it is checking all the repositories.
You should rewrite it in GraphQL so it can more efficiently query the information it needs.
That sounds great. Or maybe we just get rid of a bunch of repos.
Yeah.
We have inactive.
Maybe if we remove the archived repos from that file.
That might be useful.
Right, like Beyhan, like there's a lot of repos that are archived that are still in that file. So every run we're still iterating over all the archived ones while we're actually not touching them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
maybe
it
we
might
just keep a separate file with the archived ones that we just never run automation against, but in case people need access to it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Could be
good
alternative.
point actually.
That might be worth investing because we don't have that many repos anymore, right? That are active. I mean, it's
Yeah.
still probably 100, but it's not the 400 or
Yeah.
something that we don't need to make changes to those every time.
So we could actually talk also about automation, cost reduction.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a topic.
But do we know our numbers yet? I don't even know how much our
So
working
the
group is spending.
foundation, I had some numbers from Christian. We have around 5,000 per month for our working group.
And how much of that is
For our working group alone?
hosting? Yeah.
So it is,
on GCP and AWS together.
no, this was only, if I remember it correctly, GCP.
Okay. Well, yeah. It's about, I calculated about like 3,000, should be 3,000 a month, and then they were still pretty cheap for what we do.
Yeah. If you calculate it for the number of repos we have in our working group, it's not that much. That's probably the metric we should use, right? Like numbers of repos in a working group and then the budget. Because then the CF deployment working group, that they have like only two repos and a huge budget or a huge spend, so they will have to do all the cost saving.
So the highest one at the moment with application on time platform working at
Platform, yeah.
20,000 per month.
Yeah. And they only built a Go router, right?
Yeah.
No, Diego is there, the different
Yeah.
networkings and Windows. Apparently, Windows testing is quite expensive.
Yeah, but those are side quests.
But yeah, this is something I don't know how to. I don't have. I think I have been checking.
Yeah, so like an important thing for us to discuss, I think, is like what can we move to GitHub Actions, because GitHub Actions we get at 100% discount, right? So if there's something we can run using maybe Docker CPI on GitHub Action runners, we should maybe investigate that. Like, can we run bats on Docker CPI maybe? I don't know, like not for. Eventually, we might want to run it on VMs. But if we want like for a unit, I don't know
Shouldn't we
which type of
first know? Shouldn't we first know is what the actual, where is it coming from?
Yes, we
Yeah, but
initiate
like it's
discussions.
It's always good to
Sure.
optimize before you know what's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, we know that it's gonna be VMs that are running, right?
Sure.
And the question is like, how can we reduce the number of VMs? We're spinning
Yeah,
up
but
VMs.
aren't we
Just-
cleaning up enough? Aren't we? What are we?
I don't think there's a lot of leftovers. I do think the idea of moving all of the Bosch testing to something like Docker CPI is an interesting move. I do think we probably need to run bats or the CPI verification against actual VMs, but that's on a per IaaS basis. But we could definitely push that farther down the line so that we're not running it on every commit. We're running it maybe prior to release or something. It's going to slow down possible bug catching, but mostly these APIs are pretty hammered out, so probably it's okay.
Pretty stable, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to like share that fact about the discount, right? Like that's a thing we should try to use more of.
When are they going to stop that?
I think it's because of the open source stuff, the fact that it's all open source. That's where we're getting the discount or something like that.
As soon as we use
It's
too much of it, the
because
discount goes away.
I think
As
it
soon
is
as we use a
because
bunch of it,
I think with the enterprise, GitHub Enterprise license, you have some hours which are included, and the enterprise license we get for free because of the open source.
We go over the usage of the enterprise plan,
Oh, we go over that?
and we get 100% discount.
Okay.
I don't know. Might also be Linux Foundation related, right? We're under the Linux Foundation, so that helps.
Maybe.
Chris will know.
But this, I think, Ruben, we can maybe have a call at some point to look into the costs and try to figure out for our working group where the costs are generated, and then we can have more focused discussions. Yeah,
Makes sense.
yeah, okay. Here is one PR regarding inactive users. So it is now 2 week old. We had some discussions. I already updated the PR according to the discussions. And it should be okay to get merged.
That's one that I need to go. Do I need to go approve that one? Where is it? It's in the community repo?
Yes, I can.
Uh,
I need an approval. Yeah, I can also.
oh yeah, thank you.
I put in the chat already.
Yeah, see it.
So I took Colin out of the list, and this the bot here, this PC code services, right? PCF code. Okay.
It's about $270 a day.
Well,
Would we use?
So around 6,000 per month.
No, that's the forecast, but it's between four and six every month.
So I saw the I think for the last month the check, and it was 5 something.
and how much of that is our concourse? Our concourse? Because that we're not scaling, right? We're just that's static basically.
I don't know. I cannot see that properly. I don't have enough.
Privileged.
Privileges to go that deep into it.
I also don't have, and I asked Chris to get, but didn't get an answer yet. Yeah.
It's really strange because I have like full admin access, like overall admin access. But because the billing account is in another space. That's only managed by Chris, I think.
That's the Linux Foundation.
Yeah. LF account I see here.
So we have other topics in our list. Should we continue excluding Dependabot?
Yeah, that was me. I noticed through like the BB, I don't know what the pipeline looks like around BBR, but I've been noticing as I've been going down dealing with other PRs that there are some outstanding Dependabot things. When there's no conflicts, I've been merging, but it doesn't seem like there are a ton of these, and maybe it makes sense for us to stop excluding them unless there are people who are managing these repos and handling that stuff on their own.
Makes sense. Yeah, we put that in the filter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we exclude Dependabot and Sneak. I don't know if Sneak is still applied anywhere. We could probably also start excluding the cryogenics CI because that team is no longer the repos that were maintained by that team are no longer using the aggressive PR workflow that they were using. So
I am fine with bumping this stuff again, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know enough about the internals of BBR to sort this out. It's probably just an API change, but it might be interesting for somebody to take a look at this who's more familiar with Bubble.
Yeah, basically what I always do with these kind of things, I will just accept it, and then if it breaks, I will figure out why it breaks the CI.
Yeah.
But there are many checks which are also failing.
Yeah, there's a bunch of all the unit tests are failing, it looks like, so.
Easy CLA is fine. We have
Excellent.
so
I don't think we need to necessarily do this, but yeah, maybe somebody could take a look who knows Bubble better than I.
As soon as you see something bumping with Azure, you will just need to ignore that. That's a horror show.
Excellent.
So just so you know. I-
Has their Go library changed significantly, or?
we had the Ruby, I think we still had like old Ruby libraries that we were using.
No,
Mm,
in
No,
Bubble.
oh no,
Bubble is
it was,
Golang.
it was like first it was just one repository, and now they just they now have like several repositories for each component. And the problem was that their API really changed over time. And it's also like really strange. They have like the complete date, year within their API calls, endpoints. So yeah.
yeah, that was gnarly.
okay. And OpenStack CPI not auto bumping, so I cannot push them.
Yeah, this may be a configuration issue on our end. I haven't been able to dig in, but I did notice that the 3.1 the CPI is still using 3.1 Ruby, which was end of life last this March. But you all said that you're fully converted over to using the Golang CPI, is that correct?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so maybe we should.
Everything now?
This was what I heard from the Bosch team.
Okay.
We can check.
That would be good to hear. So probably you don't care if that Ruby wasn't updated, but we'll have to figure out
Yeah.
what's going on our side.
What's the status of OpenStack CI? Is it
So we
working again?
Our internal one is marginally working. I think we're still, because of the infrastructure move we've had to do, I don't think that we currently have connectivity between our concourse and the OpenStack cluster that we maintain. So
Yeah, so CI is broken. As in we cannot run. Okay.
well, I mean, we can run
Or
some
OpenStack
tests.
works maybe, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, our CI does not work.
Yeah, because I was asked if we could cut a release. And then I said maybe just make a PR with a final release, and then we merge that. Because I think SAP has CI, right? Like that validates at least the Golang stuff.
Yes, we
So
have
maybe just go
Golang.
based off that.
Yeah. Well, if the CI is not validating the Ruby stuff, that's a little.
Yeah, but I'm like, that's on us, right? We cannot hold
Sure.
the open source back or block it because of that.
It seems like we should do some work to see if we can switch over to the Golang CLI or the Golang CPI.
That makes sense. Also, I think it still would be great if we try to get some CI going in open source.
So the main reason for the Go CLI Go version is the fork library, which is also not maintained since 2 years. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Ansh was asking me about it like the beginning of this week about the OpenStack, that they want to set up the OpenStack CI and want to maintain it within the OSS. So
yeah, I pointed him to MicroStack. I think like I would hope that microstack maybe can even run. Like it seems to only require.
You can do it on one VM. I checked, but
Yeah, but maybe like you can even run it on GitHub Actions, right? Like that would be ideal. There's pretty beefy runners. So if you can just run microstack
Yeah,
on
this
a
is
Git.
this is the real attitude to reduce the cost directly.
Yeah, like if we could do that, right? We don't need to run a cluster. We just spin it up. It would take a bit longer to run, but like if this spins up an OpenStack before on a GitHub Action runner, and then we run our test against it, that would be ideal.
so I'm looking now at the cost, and I see we are paying like $500 or more even. That's only for now. Like on Cloud SQL. What is using Cloud SQL?
Aren't we using that for the Concourse database?
Possibly Concourse
Oh,
database,
yeah.
possibly for external testing on Bosch. Because we Bosch tests both with internal and external
Oh, yes. that could
databases.
be.
500 per month, or
Yeah, at least.
at least.
Yeah,
okay,
Cloud
yeah.
SQL is quite expensive.
Yeah, see there, yeah, cost savings potentials. Okay, we are over time. Then, is there anything else you would like to discuss?
I don't think so.
Then, yeah, take care. Then, thank you for your
Take care.
time.
Bye.
And see you next
See ya.
time. Bye.
Bye.